My name is Gina Jenkins. I walk into the high-end restaurant on Mass Ave right on time as usual. My family is already seated at our regular table. Mom smirks the second she sees me. You should have just brought instant ramen instead. My brother jumps in without missing a beat. Aren't you embarrassed? I take my seat, force a steady smile, and reply exactly like I planned. Then I'll only be paying for my own meal tonight. Dad catches my eye for a split second, his silent way of saying he's got my back, then looks away. My little sister snickers and fiddles with her menu, acting like it's all a joke. The meal drags on with their usual chatter about luxury trips and social events. I stay quiet, picking at my plate. Finally, the server brings the leather-bound bill. I pull out my card and hand it over. Just charge mine separately. The server nods, processes it, and returns. Everything's good for your portion, miss. But the rest of the cards? They were all declined. The table goes dead silent. Mom's smirk fades to shock. My brother's face drains of color. My little sister's eyes widen in panic. Four pale expressions stare back at me, realizing for the first time that the embarrassing one has been holding everything together. If you've ever felt that sting of family dismissal at dinner, and snap back, smash like, subscribe, and hit notifications, you won't want to miss how this unfolded. Share in the comments. What would you say in my shoes? I grip the steering wheel tighter as I drive back to my downtown Indianapolis apartment, the city lights blurring through the windshield. The engine hums steadily, but my mind races with echoes from the table. Years of dismissal flood back. As a kid, I was always the one scraping by on hand-me-downs while the family flaunted vacations and gadgets. Mother would glance at my school projects and mutter how they were cute attempts, even when I stayed up late studying to top my class. Tammy, my little sister, mimicked her, calling me the budget queen during birthday parties where she'd unwrap expensive dolls. I pushed harder, taking after-school jobs at local tech shops to afford my first computer. Thinking competence would earn their approval. Dad watched it all without a word, his quiet nods the only hint he noticed. The memory shifts to last year's Cybersecurity Awards gala in the city convention center. I'd won for developing an advanced encryption protocol used by major firms. The room buzzed with industry leaders shaking hands and toasting innovations. At our reserved table, Mother adjusted her pearl necklace and leaned toward a venture capitalist who'd congratulated me. "Oh, Gina's little tech thing. It's perfect for her. She's always been so solitary. Keeps her occupied without all the social fuss." The man's polite smile faltered, and I excused myself to the restroom, staring at my reflection for 10 minutes. Dad had followed later, placing a hand on my shoulder without speaking, his way of acknowledging the sting. That pattern defined everything. For 7 years, I'd poured my expertise into their financial security system. It started when Dad's investment accounts got hacked, once minor loss, but enough to panic him. I stepped in, building a custom dashboard from scratch, integrated bank links, real-time fraud alerts, encrypted access for trusts and credit lines. No fees, no complaints from me, just quiet updates every quarter. They called it Gina's Gadget, when they bothered mentioning it at all. Mother used it to track her wardrobe budgets without a thank you. Mark relied on it for his car loans, never questioning the seamless approvals. Tammy's shopping sprees cleared effortlessly, her statements pristine, because I flagged anomalies before they escalated. All that labor given freely to prove I belonged in this well-off family. I thought invisibility was the price for acceptance. But tonight's words stripped that illusion away. Instant ramen. As if my presence cheapened their image. The declined cards were just the start. They had no idea how deep my safeguards ran, or how easily I could withdraw them. The apartment building looms ahead, its lobby lights welcoming. I park in my spot, grab my bag, and head up the elevator. Unlocking the door, I step into the quiet space. I've made my own minimalist furniture, a wall of monitors for work, no family photos cluttering the shelves. The silence feels heavier now, charged with decision. I drop my keys on the counter and boot up my main computer. The screen glows to life icons aligning in familiar rows. Logging into the family portal takes seconds. My master credentials unlock everything. Tonight, routine maintenance turns into something else. I scan recent logs, first patterns emerging like cracks in glass. Mark's transactions hit me hard, repeated withdrawals for luxury rentals, each one larger than the last. Tammy's card statements show boutique charges stacking up far beyond her allowance. The totals climb over $400,000 siphoned from shared trusts in the past 14 months. No one else monitors this. They assume it's magic. My fingers hover over the keyboard. This isn't coincidence. It's entitlement funded by my silence. Dad signed off on my admin role years ago, distracted during a phone call, waving me away with, "Whatever keeps it running." He never grasped the full authority he granted. The clock ticks past 10. I open the protocol menu, heart steady. Emergency measures exist for a reason. Suspected misuse triggers them automatically. One click, and the system locks down. But first, I need proof. Exporting reports takes minutes, folders filling with evidence. Emails from mother approving Tammy's essential purchases even when balances dipped low. Mark's loan requests stamped without review. Clarity settles in. My efforts weren't building bridges. They were enabling their disregard. Tonight changes that. The city hums outside my window, indifferent. I lean back, plan forming. Renee Brooks, the attorney I met at a tech conference, specializes in financial disputes. Her card is still in my drawer. Time to use it. I flip open my laptop the moment I step inside. The screen lights up, casting a blue glow across the room. My fingers move automatically, typing in the master password for the family security system. This platform is my creation, coded line by line over years to shield their assets from threats. Every bank account, investment portfolio, and credit line feeds into it, encrypted and monitored in real time. The dashboard loads with its familiar grids. I start with the transaction history tab, filtering for the past 14 months. Patterns jump out immediately. Mark's entries dominate the first page, a series of large transfers to auto dealerships, 5 figures each for high-end models. One for a sports car in June, another for upgrades in September. Interspersed are hotel bookings, weekends in exotic spots, complete with flight charges. The amounts add up, quickly dipping into the joint trust without authorization. Switching to Tammy's linked cards reveals even more. Boutique purchases stack like bricks, designer handbags from luxury brands, spa treatments at exclusive resorts, shoe orders that could fill a warehouse. A single receipt from last month shows over $10,000 on accessories alone. Another from April lists custom jewelry, pushing the total higher. These aren't occasional splurges, they form a consistent drain, month after month. I cross-reference with the main Quai account. The numbers confirm it. Over $400,000 vanished from shared funds. No reimbursements logged, no explanations attached. The system flagged some as unusual, but I was the only one who ever checked those alerts. They treated it like an unlimited tap, assuming I'd handle any glitches. Digging deeper, I pull up audit logs. Mark's access shows logins at odd hours, approving his own withdrawals. Tammy's profile reveals overrides on spending limits set higher without consultation. The trust documents scanned and stored in the vault section clearly state equal distribution among siblings, yet these pulls skew everything in their favor. My pulse quickens as I export the data. Screenshots capture the timelines, charts illustrating the escalation. One graph shows spikes correlating with their social media posts, Mark's car photos, Tammy's unboxing videos. It's not just money, it's a lifestyle built on my oversight. The clock on the screen reads past 11. I open a new window for detailed reports, running queries on merchant categories. Automotive for Mark, fashion, and wellness for Tammy. The vendors are all premium dealerships in upscale district, salons with celebrity clients. Total outflow $423,000, precise to the cent. No one else reviews this. Dad relies on summary emails I send quarterly. Mother glances at balances during tax season. They dismiss my role as tech support, never grasping the depth. But here it is, evidence of systematic overuse hidden because I enabled the smoothness. I lean forward, scanning email integrations. Messages from banks confirming transactions, some with my auto approvals attached. One thread from Mark requests quick fixes for declined payments, which I resolved without question. Tammy's notes complain about limits, and I adjusted them to avoid arguments. The weight settles. This isn't carelessness, it's exploitation. The Kwai was meant for family stability, not personal excess. My free labor masked their habits, keeping everything afloat. Saving the files to an encrypted drive takes moments. I label folders meticulously, mark transactions, Tammy spending, trust toss discrepancies. The data backs up seamlessly, terabytes of proof. Midnight approaches. I navigate to the admin panel, reviewing permissions. My credentials grant full control, uninstall alerts, revoke accesses. But tonight I hold off on changes. Documentation first. The apartment remains still, city noise faint through the walls. I compile a summary report highlighting key violations. The totals glare back, undeniable. One final check: the main trust balance. It's lower than projected, eaten away by these habits. If unchecked, depletion looms. Resolution forms. Renee will need this tomorrow. For now, the system stays live, but not for long. I click into the protocol settings without hesitation. The emergency option appears at the top, a red button labeled for high-risk scenarios. This feature was my addition 3 years ago, designed for suspected fraud or internal threats. Dad had approved it during a brief meeting, scrawling his signature on the digital form while on a call, barely glancing at the clauses. Make it secure, he'd said, trusting my judgment without details. That authorization gives me unilateral power to halt operations. My cursor hovers, then selects Activate. The system prompts for confirmation, listing impacts temporary suspension of all linked accounts, credit cards, and automated transfers. I enter my admin code and the process begins. Progress bars fill as locks engage checking accounts. Freeze investment platforms, go read-only wire capabilities disable. Notifications queue for morning delivery. Security hold initiated due to irregularities. Next cards. 11 in total from premium issuers. I navigate to the integration panel, revoking authorizations one by one. Mother's Platinum for shopping sprees, Mark's Black for business lunches, Tammy's Visa for daily indulgences. All status changes to inactive. Overdraft protections lift, exposing any deficits immediately. Automated transfers follow. Recurring payments for utilities, memberships, and subscriptions pause. The family office dashboard, central to their operations, shifts to lockdown mode. No logins allowed except mine until resolved. The clock shows 12:15. I open my email client, composing a message to Renee Brooks. Subject: urgent financial dispute consultation. Body details the overview: unauthorized drains from trusts, my role as builder and admin, attached zipped files with exported logs and summaries. Need your expertise on protective measures and potential litigation. I write, hitting send with the evidence bundle. Now, the resignation letter. I draft it formally, addressing the family group. Effective immediately, I resign as system administrator for the Jenkins Financial Network. Per the signed agreement, security protocols are updated for asset protection. Inquiries regarding access or disputes direct to my counsel, Renee Brooks. No emotion, just facts. I CC everyone, including Dad, and press send. My phone buzzes almost instantly. A text from Dad. I'm sorry, I always knew you were the strongest one. No follow-up, no calls, just those words, his quiet support breaking through. I set the device to silent, focusing back on the screen. Verification steps remain. I run diagnostics, confirming locks hold across platforms. Bank APIs return restricted statuses. Investment firms echo the same. The QI balance stabilizes, no further outflows possible. 1 hour passes. I document every step in a personal log timestamps, screenshots rationale. This isn't impulse, it's duty. As co-signer on the trusts, I have fiduciary responsibility, another clause Dad overlooked when authorizing. The apartment air feels cooler now. I stand stretching and pour water from the kitchen tap. Returning, I review email replies. Renee responds promptly. Received. Let's meet first thing tomorrow. Strong case here. Relief edges in sharp and clear. Final checks password rotations for all subsystems generating complex strings 60 characters long. Two-factor enforcements activate on every device profile. If they try logging in, it'll fail spectacularly. 2 am-nears. I power down peripherals, leaving the main unit humming in standby. The city's distant traffic lulls like white noise. Sleep won't come easy, but purpose anchors me. Tomorrow brings chaos for them, clarity for me. Morning light filters through the blinds as my alarm hits 7. At Indianapolis International, Dad approaches the airline lounge desk, black card in hand. The agent swipes it once, frowns, swipes again. "I'm sorry, Mr. Jenkins, this card is showing as restricted." Dad's face tightens. He tries the backup platinum. Same result. He steps aside, phone already out, voice low, with the concierge who can't override it either. Across town, Tammy stands at the counter of her favorite boutique on Mass Ave, arms full of new season purses. The clerk rings them up, $8,400, and runs her card. Declined. She hands over the secondary visa. Declined again. The clerk's polite smile fades. Tammy's cheeks burn as other customers glance over. She mutters something about a bank glitch and leaves the bags behind. Mark sits in his downtown office finalizing a supplier contract for his latest real estate flip. The invoice totals $42,000. He submits payment through the usual portal. Error message, transaction blocked. He refreshes, tries a different account. Same block. The vendor calls minutes later, confused and impatient. My phone starts vibrating nonstop by 8:30. Mother's name flashes for 6 missed calls in a row, then Tammy 8. Texts flood in. Mother, what did you do? Fix this now. Tammy. My cards aren't working and I look like an idiot. Call me. Mother again. This is unacceptable, Gina. Your father is stranded. Tammy. You're ruining everything. Answer your phone. I silence the device completely, slide it into my bag, and head out. Renee Brooks's office sits in a glass tower 10 minutes away. I arrive early, coffee in hand. She greets me at reception, leads me to a corner conference room overlooking the city. Files from last night are already printed and organized on the table. We dive straight in. She spreads the transaction summaries, highlighting the largest drains. $423,000 over 14 months. No approvals, no reimbursements. Clear breach of trust terms. I nod, adding context on the emergency protocol Dad authorized. She marks the signature page. That clause is ironclad. You had full legal right to freeze everything the moment irregularities appeared. Next, the resignation letter and last night's activation logs. She scans them, nodding approval. Perfect documentation trail. If they push discovery, we'll bury them. We outline the demand letter, immediate audit return of misused funds or litigation. She drafts it while I review trust copies, circling the equal distribution clauses they ignored. By 10, the letter is ready. Renee hits send to the family's main attorney, CCing everyone. Subject line, notice of trust violation and asset protection measures. My phone, still on silent, shows 47 missed calls and a string of escalating messages. Mother's latest, you will regret this. Tammy's, you're jealous and pathetic. I don't reply. Renee closes her laptop. They'll lawyer up fast. Expect a response by afternoon. You did the right thing protecting what's yours. I exhale, tension easing for the first time since dinner. We schedule the next meeting for tomorrow, mapping potential counters. Walking out the city feels different. Less weight on my shoulders, more control in my hands. Afternoon sun slants through the windows of the downtown Indianapolis law office on Wednesday. I arrive 5 minutes early, settling into a leather chair in the conference room. Renee Brooks sits beside me, laptop open to our prepared slides. The family's side enters shortly after Mother in a tailored suit, Tammy fidgeting with her phone, Mark adjusting his tie, Dad trailing silently. Their lawyer, a sharp-suited man named Victor Hale, nods curtly and takes the head seat. Victor opens. Let's resolve this amicably. My clients deny any wrongdoing and demand immediate access restoration. Renee smiles politely. We have evidence suggesting otherwise. Shall we review? Mother interrupts before she can continue. This is ridiculous, Gina. You've always been dramatic. Unlock everything now, or face consequences. Tammy leans forward, voice sharp. Yeah, you're just bitter because we have lives and you don't. Fix what you broke. I keep my expression neutral, letting Renee handle it. She clicks to the first slide, a timeline of withdrawals. Over 14 months, unauthorized pulls total $423,000 from joint trusts. Mark scoffs. Those are personal expenses. Family funds cover them. Renee advances to the next slide, showing trust agreements. The documents state explicit approval requirements for amounts over $5,000. None here. Mother waves a hand. Gina's the one who set it up. She approved everything. Renee pulls up the authorization form. This grants Gina emergency powers for protection signed by Mr. Jenkins. No blanket approvals for misuse. Tammy crosses her arms. Misuse, that's our money too. You're overreacting to a dinner joke. Renee ignores the barb, flipping to transaction details. Mark's vehicle purchases 3 and 6 months totaling $87,000. Tammy's retail charges $112,000 on luxury goods. Mother's tone rises. You're spying on us. This is invasion of privacy. Dad shifts in his seat but says nothing, eyes on the table. Victor clears his throat. Let's see the full context. Renee nods, presenting email chains. Requests for limit increases handled by Gina to avoid issues, but the pattern shows deliberate excess without repayment plans. Tammy snaps. So what? It's family money. Gina's just jealous she doesn't spend like us. Mark adds. Exactly. She's always been the outsider, hoarding her tech skills like they're special. Renee advances to the lockdown log. The protocol activated last night detects irregularities and freezes to prevent further loss. Legal under the agreement. Mother points at me. You did this out of spite, admit it. I speak for the first time. I did it to protect assets as per my role. Tammy rolls her eyes. Protect, you're destroying us. Renee interjects with the final slide: potential liabilities. Continued misuse could lead to audits, tax reviews. We're open to settlement if funds return. Victor whispers to Mother, who shakes her head. But as slides loop back to totals, Tammy's defiance cracks. Wait, that's the actual amount. Mark stares at his copy. I didn't realize it added up that much. Silence falls. Dad glances at me again, still wordless. Victor sighs. Perhaps a quick resolution. What terms? Renee outlines full repayment, audit consent, my release from admin duties. Or we proceed to court. Mother fumes but doesn't object immediately. Tammy mutters under her breath. Mark rubs his temples. The meeting wraps with Victor promising a response by morning. We stand. Family exits, first tension thick. Renee packs up. They'll fold. Evidence is too strong. I nod, stepping into the elevator. The city bustles below, indifferent to our drama. Friday morning arrives with clear skies. I enter Renee's office at 9 sharp, the settlement papers waiting on the polished table. Victor Hale stands nearby, stack in hand. The terms favor me heavily: transfer of the entire protected trust segment to my sole control, encompassing my initial setups, and the reclaimed misused amounts, alongside $1.5 million in compensation for undocumented services rendered. Their signatures appear: first, mother's flourish, sharp; Tammy's hasty scrawl; Mark's block letters, dad's steady line; I add mine last pen gliding smoothly; Victor slides the folder across; wire initiates upon execution. Renee monitors the bank app. Funds hit my new independent account within minutes. Locks release selectively, only their portions reactivate mine severed permanently. I leave without ceremony, heading straight home. In the apartment, I open contacts on my phone. Mother's number block, Tammy's block, Mark's block. Dad's hesitate a second, then block. Emails follow filters, route anything from Jenkins domains to spam, then trash. Social platforms unfollow, unfriend, restrict. No loopholes left. The quiet settles like dust. No more alerts, no obligations. 6 months pass swiftly. I stand in my penthouse living room, floor-to-ceiling windows framing the Indianapolis skyline at dusk. The space reflects my choices: sleek furniture, art from local galleries, a dedicated office corner with multiple screens humming softly. No echoes of the past clutter the shelves. News trickles in through mutual acquaintances I no longer engage. Mother's social empire crumbled fast. Invites to women's league events dried up after rumors of internal financial mismanagement circulated. One former friend mentioned her attempted explanation at a luncheon met with polite disinterest. Club dues lapsed unpaid. She withdrew from boards quietly, reputation tarnished beyond repair. Tammy faced the harshest financial recoil. Credit applications rejected across lenders, her history flagged for excessive draws and defaults. A civil suit from the primary bank demanded repayment of $38,000 in overdrafts plus interest. She pawned jewelry collections at a fraction of value, moved into a cramped rental outside the upscale district. Social feeds went dark. No more lavish posts. Mark's ventures stalled abruptly. Suppliers pulled lines after payments bounced repeatedly, one filing a lien on his unfinished property flip. Credit scores plummeted, blocking new loans. He liquidated assets hastily, about secondary vehicles to stave off bankruptcy proceedings. Whispers in business circles labeled him unreliable. Partnerships dissolved. Dad chose isolation. Legal separation finalized 3 months in, citing irreconcilable differences. He relocated to a simple condo on the city's edge, away from the old neighborhood. No public scandals touched him directly, but solitude marked his days: fewer calls, no family gatherings. My world expanded differently. The consulting firm launched with Sheila Hayes as partner, her contacts from industry forums securing initial contracts. We onboarded 8 clients in the first 2 months: mid-sized banks needing encryption overhauls, startups requiring compliance setups. Revenue climbed steadily, hitting mid-6 figures by quarter 3. I hired a small team: analysts, fresh from university programs, training them on protocols I once applied gratis. Evenings bring collaborations. Sheila and I review proposals over video calls, brainstorming innovations like AI-driven threat detection. The penthouse hosts strategy sessions, whiteboards filling with diagrams. No free fixes anymore. Billable hours ensure value. Reflections surface occasionally. Childhood pushes to fit and adolescent efforts ignored, adult contributions dismissed. That ramen quip crystallized it all, a dismissal too blatant to overlook. The sentence about the instant noodles marked the precise instant I halted, striving for affection from those unworthy of it.